you notice something in the air? Something different. Something Disney related. But perhaps something twisted. Welcome,
sorry, that's just me.
Welcome, everybody. I didn't hear what you said, Kirbyfan.
That's too bad.
Great. I'm hello, everybody. I don't think I'm gonna cut this.
Don't cut it.
I'm not gonna cut it. In fact, I'm not gonna cut this. Am I, future me? No, you are not. Either way, hi everybody. Welcome to episode 7 of StarKid Spotlight, where we talk about the StarKid musicals of our time and beyond. But so far, there's none beyond. It's just they're all released now. So, yes, we're going to be talking about Twisted. I'm RandomBystanderHere.
I'm the tiger fucker.
God. And am I feeling lucky?
God,
you have to,
damn it.
It's too bad this is audio form because you would be looking straight at the camera.
You would be.
Yeah, I would.
Oh my god. So we watched Twisted today, and I'm not gonna lie, this was one of my favorites for the longest time, but I was still nervous about you guys watching it because I wasn't sure what you would think of it.
Well, this was your favorite, you said, correct?
It was for a good amount of time.
Yeah, because I remember when I finished Starship, I felt so betrayed, because that was the one you had tried getting me to watch all these years, and then I watched it and I'm like, oh yeah, this is great, and then you were like, it's not my favorite, but...
Yeah.
Like, what?
I mean, it might be later. We'll have to see.
Yeah, no, like this is my personal history with Twisted. It was the rift that made me see Random in a totally different light.
And that's all, huh? You never really heard of it, never watched it.
Nope, you never once tried to get me to watch it, so I had no idea.
Because I gave up after that point. Because if you didn't watch Starship, I couldn't get you to watch it. I couldn't even get you both to watch Aladdin.
I did watch Aladdin twice.
You had a sub chat, and you still barely got me to watch Aladdin. To be fair,
that's true. And you two did watch Aladdin because I hosted a movie night where we watched Aladdin.
I watched like 10 minutes of Aladdin, and we had a 10-minute work in progress spinoff.
Well, we were riffing on something. I forgot what we were riffing on.
We were riffing on the movie during that in text form. I might as well have just invited you to the call and have us just riff for the entire movie, because I was enjoying it. But I thought it was funny, but at the same time, I was like, "Come on, guys! There's people here who love this movie," but I didn't want to say it out loud.
Well, I mean, I was giving my honest thoughts.
Yeah, I know.
That's just how I give my honest thoughts.
I know.
It was just really nice to see a boo-boo and friends.
A boo-boo. It's time to say goodbye.
Random, continue on your personal history.
Well, I do have a personal history
Watch,
with
I want to
this.
talk about Watch's personal history with this, because they did mention in the first episode they tried to watch Twisted.
Yes.
I don't remember this, but okay.
This would be the very last one of these that I ever tried. And past this point, I don't recognize any of the other musicals. So I think I'm safe. So this is the last time I'm ever going to have history with it. I'm pretty sure that Random shared with me the Kickstarter. And we'll talk about the Kickstarter, because that's a major part of not only this musical, but of StarKid in general. But I for some reason, like, I have a very vivid memory of the Kickstarter video where it's the writers explaining why they went about this. And again, we can talk more about this. And then obviously the Kickstarter did massively well. It was in that perfect time period where Kickstarters were actually being successful. And the musical came out, and I think I watched half of the first video, and then I gave up. Because again, I'm pretty sure this was at the time when they didn't have like subtitles and stuff. It might have been like I watched enough of it that I witnessed the creepy monkey. That's the last thing I remember with the creepy monkey. And that's about it. It was something about really sad Jafar. At the time, when I saw that little bit there, if I ever saw Aladdin, it was when I was like 6. I was really young, and I remember very little about this. And then Random, of course, had his movie night where I watched it. Although for some reason the audio coming through his computer did noise cancellation on the songs, which was really bizarre to listen to. So like when we finally got to this, I said, you know what, I'm just gonna go sit down and watch Aladdin by myself, and I did, and my opinions on Aladdin slightly shifted from last time, but this is not the Aladdin podcast. This is the Aladdin parody podcast.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
That's pretty much it.
Well, Starship was my favorite at this time. I heard about StarKid doing Twisted, and the thought of it. I think I saw the commercial of it during a Harry Potter senior year, or when the Kickstarters happened. I forget which happened first. But I did not back the Kickstarter because I was broke. But I wanted to so badly. But I watched it happen. I watched it reach just a success, and I was hyped. I was very hyped because I love Aladdin. And for the longest time, even though I say Beauty and the Beast is my favorite, even though Beauty and the Beast is my favorite Disney movie now, Aladdin was my favorite Disney movie as a kid. And it's because I would literally watch the movie all the time whenever I visited my grandma. And like literally every time I did, I would just watch that film like dozens and dozens of times. And hell, Robin Williams as the genie was my comedic inspiration, and I wouldn't be who I am without him. So that's also another thing. When I heard this was happening and StarKid was doing their take on Aladdin, I was like, okay, let's go. And I watched it. I loved it the moment I saw it, and for a while it was my favorite. And actually, at this point, still is my favorite. Before rewatching it again in the podcast, of course. But it was my favorite at the time. Dylan was great. I thought the cast was great. I thought everything was hilarious. I liked how the story was, and it was just really nice. And it was weird to see StarKid go from a Harry Potter musical to this, but it was a good type of weird.
Yeah, I get you.
They finally grew up.
Yeah. Before we want to go with the plot, do you want to talk about the Kickstarter?
Well, like you mentioned just now, this really was a turning point because we didn't get to talk about it last time. That at the time of Harry Potter senior year, StarKid was in a bit of a rough spot because, and they talk about this in the Kickstarter video, that because they released their musicals for free, and they sell albums, but sometimes they can't sell the songs that they make because of copyright and stuff.
Yeah.
And then also like internet piracy just happens, and it becomes tough for them to combat it. So what they were doing with the Harry Potter senior year was that they were they put in like advertisements and commercials in the YouTube playlist. Unfortunately, because it's a YouTube playlist and like none of the advertisements are in the actual video, like you can just look up like a fan playlist of just the musical parts and skipping all the advertising. I guess it's good for them for not making it so intrusive like so many other YouTubers these days. Sometime after the release of Harry Potter senior year, they released the Kickstarter, and the original goal was $35,000, and that would have been like bare minimum of what they needed. And they would needed like a there was like 44,000 to make it like a legitimate show. And the response was that they made like, what is it, like 5 times that amount of money?
Yeah.
Like they won like
$142,000.
$142,000 raised by the end of it. They were very short of one of their stretch goals, which would have included the best puppets in the world and the best lighting in the world. So unfortunately, we don't get to see the best lighting or puppets in the world. We just see extremely good lighting and puppets.
Honestly, yeah, that's...
Well, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that, of course.
But,
so this was, by this point, this was suddenly like, oh, so people like our stuff and they'll just support us. And that became a big turning point for them, that now they can figure out other ways of actually making money.
Yeah, with the exception of the next 2 musicals, Trail to Oregon and Annie, I think the rest are funded by Kickstarter.
I know Firebringer definitely was funded by Kickstarter. I'm not sure about the others. We can talk about that later on.
Yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get to talking about them. But yeah, this was heavily supported by Kickstarter, and if it weren't for if the Kickstarter was not a success, we wouldn't be seeing Twisted. Hell, we probably wouldn't be seeing half of the musicals that are on here, and StarKid Spotlight would have ended on the Harry Potter senior year, probably. But I'm glad that is not the case, because we get to talk about this production and everything about it. Is there anything else you want to talk about with the Kickstarter?
I watched the Aladdin with you in that call, and then afterwards I went to watch the Kickstarter video for Twisted, and one of the writers, I believe Nick Gage, was talking about.
I think you mean Nick Lang. Nick Gage was the composer for Holy Musical Batman.
Oh, okay. Nick Lang,
and also an actor in this, but we'll talk about him later.
Yeah, that was why when I saw Nick Gage debut, I was like, oh, that's the writer brother. So he's finally shown up. Nick Lang mentions in the Kickstarter video that he always identified with Jafar, and after having seen Aladdin, I was like, how the fuck do you identify with Jafar? How do you make Jafar a likable character? And having now watched it, I can see, oh, and that's how you completely rewrite the character. Obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's our segue into actual talking about this.
Who wants to do a plot summary?
I already talked too much.
Don't you?
Okay. So Jafar, with an apostrophe in his name, is in charge of the Magic Kingdom as the royal advisor for the Sultan, or Vizier. And he just and it's in ruins. It entered its 2 golden ages, but now it's in the dark times. And Jafar wants to do everything he can in order to make the kingdom prosperous. But there's a problem, as there's a really, really bad street rat thief named Aladdin who's stealing stuff from the palace. And Jafar basically wants to just try and do everything he can to make the kingdom greater, and just make it as prosperous as it can be, and be remembered as someone who brought the kingdom prosperity as well. There's also the princess who is a little bit naive and spoiled, and she breaks out and finds Aladdin and falls for him, and Aladdin is trying to take advantage of her. There's also Ahmed, who was originally going to trade goods, all sorts of incredible goods and things like that, but he's put them for war. Now he's ready for war, and this is basically Jafar trying to get the lamp that contains magic jinn that his wife Shahrazad told him about, but she passed away. So he basically, it's him trying to get the lamp and trying to make the Magic Kingdom prosperous again.
Yeah.
I don't mean to laugh, That was very good. But when you got to his wife, I love the pause between she and passed away. You're like, how do I say this?
But yes, this was interesting. This is an important plot point. Please tell me you two caught the not so subliminal like representation of Disney and like the 2Ds of Golden Age. Please tell me you got that right.
How random? How do you not get that?
And before I say this,
remind me. What's Hogwarts?
No. What I was gonna say was when I saw Ahmed come in and he was in charge of Pixar, the first thing I thought of was Pixar Spective never dies.
It never dies.
It never dies.
I can't believe they stole from us.
I will admit, we can talk about it later, but like some of the partly because of how much time we spent on the Pixar perspective, like a lot of those Pixar jokes made me laugh.
Oh, it was great. They made me laugh too. I would just like, I cannot wait to talk about this with them. Like, even before this
Pixar, yeah.
Even before this whole StarKid Spotlight, I was like, I cannot wait to get to Twisted because they're going to talk about Pixar references. It's going to be great. They'll appreciate that.
Who cares about the rest of it? Pixar.
It was great.
Who cares about it? Woody can't go to cowboy camp.
His arm is all fucked up.
Even yanked it like Andy.
It was
he yanked it like he can't go to cowboy camp.
Oh my god, that was just
anyway.
Yeah, it was a great, because you think it's just gonna be a sex joke, like my Woody, but no, he pulls out an actual.
He pulls out an actual, authentic Woody.
Yeah.
Like literally, that was the same one I had as a kid.
It might have been the same one for me too. Yeah.
But speaking of treasures and wonderful people, let's talk about Jafar. And Dylan Saunders. Oh,
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like Jafar the character. I mean, I like him. I'm not saying that I don't. I just don't know if I'd go as far as treasure. Dylan Saunders is a treasure.
Yes, his voice is a treasure.
We've talked a good amount about Dylan Saunders like stealing the show.
He carries the show in this one.
Like even from the start, like the long note that he held an introduction in part of musical, like it was clear this kid has got the chops, and they gave him a whole damn character to play and put in a whole bunch of pathos into, and you feel it, like you feel him when he's like passionate and like disappointed and sad and also terrified of Aladdin when Aladdin turns into Jim Carrey all of a sudden.
Okay, Jesus Christ, I'm not sure what's going on here. But
I'm not sure what it is.
Favorite lines Dylan has ever uttered.
It's one of the best.
We can get to that later.
Yeah.
But Jafar, I might have an issue with how I watched this because I like I said, I rewatched Aladdin and then right after I watched Twisted, and so first off, like all those quotes and references, like I got immediately, especially like there's a whole bit about I had to slit a few throats. That became an extended gag. When I watched it, I was kind of put in a bad mood with Twisted because I was thinking about that Kickstarter of like I identified with Jafar, and I'm watching this. It's like Jafar is just a completely different person in this, and It wasn't until like the ending of the show or like the second act where I was realizing, oh, that's the point.
Yes.
That this is that the Disney's Aladdin is a retelling of this.
Yes.
It's not reframing.
Like genuine, like I got that as soon as the opening song.
Yeah.
It's like sorry to be so blunt, but like question mark?
Yeah, like come on.
No. Because again, like I again, like the what I was assuming is that I haven't seen Wicked, so that's another thing.
Neither have I.
Wow, am I the only one who's seen Wicked?
Yeah, I never got a chance to see it, but
wow,
I still understood Twisted just fine.
So
I mean, yeah.
So what I'm saying is that like I was just assuming that we're just taking the same basic story and reframing it from the other perspective. But in this case, there's like characters are just straight up rewritten to like the completely different situations that is fine. It works. It kind of works. It's just like when I rewatch this, I'm gonna have to like keep that in mind for next time, because when I was seeing it as a response to Aladdin and trying to reframe it instead of rewrite it, and so I was thinking like that's not what Aladdin would for example with the when Aladdin.
That's not what Aladdin would do.
Exactly, like in the bit where Aladdin shows up and there's some starving children, and it says, "You want some food?" and Aladdin just throws it. Like this. I was thinking like this. It's you're just completely rewriting it, but again, that's the point.
Yes.
Because as it turns out, at the end of it, all of this the Disney's Aladdin was from Aladdin's point of view.
Yes. So it was a lie.
Disney was wrong.
That's literally the point of the entire
That was
musical.
literally the point. I realized that. And that's why it's like I feel like when I rewatch it, I gotta keep that in mind for next time, because I was in a bad frame of mind.
Yeah. Because I like what they do with rewriting these characters, like, because yeah, Jafar is rewritten as more sympathetic, as a person and not just a villain. Princess is a bit spoiled, but also naive.
That one I understood because I got like what they were going across from that like Jasmine, the Jasmine in the Disney was like how dare you, I can make my own choices, and like yeah, granted, but at the same time she's still she still has an extreme, a spot of extreme privilege.
Before we move on to Princess, is there anything else we want to say about Jafar? Because I felt like we didn't talk about him enough.
We talked about Jafar for 30 seconds.
Yes, and I'm like,
and Watch started.
Like,
okay, go ahead, talk.
I liked him.
I like
That's all I've got to say. Let's move on to Princess.
I liked him. That's really all I can say.
I liked him, and I loved his voice.
The actor did a great job, and I felt that Jafar, the way they were writing Jafar was like too perfect. Like it
Yeah, it definitely felt like a very standard. In this movie, he was the bad guy, but now in this, he's the good guy. Kooky.
Yeah, probably. they definitely do that with him. I mean, granted,
it's weird because when I see what they do with the other characters, I'm a lot more on board from a writing perspective. I'm a lot more on board with that. But with Jafar, it just felt a little. I don't want to say half baked. It was very genuine, but it just felt too idealistic. Maybe that's the word I'm trying to think of. Because I mean, like I said, I liked him. It's just there does come a point where it's like, all right, that's the end of my thought.
Yeah, I think it's they try to like make him, they ground him a bit with like, oh, he's doing this awful thing of taking over, becoming a sorcerer and taking over things, and he's doing the horrible things that were in Aladdin, but he's doing it for a better purpose. So I guess that's what they
I see what they're going for. I see what they're going for. What I guess where the idealistic comment comes from is that the character doesn't really. We're ignoring Aladdin right now. I'm just looking at Jafar from a writing standpoint. Original.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have any flaws as a character. Like, his only problem is that he's not conventionally attractive. And I will say, like, them being like, oh, Jafar, haha, you're ugly. That actually did not bother me. It's bothered me on, like, every StarKid before this. But this one, it did not bother me. I'm totally on board with it. It's just when we're looking at Jafar as a character, it's like, all right, where are your flaws? Oh.
Yeah.
I think the only other flaw I can think of other than his features would be the fact that he's too pessimistic
Pessimistic.
What?
Do you mean optimistic?
No, pessimistic, because he'll be like, he thinks like Jazz Princess will have like this whole like dream about like, oh, everyone should be a princess. I'm like, that's not going to work. Maybe you'll have good ideas.
I wouldn't call that pessimistic. More like
oh my god. There is a quote from Sonic Forces where Silver says, I'm an optimist, but I'm also a realist. I never thought I'd unironically be able to use that line, but here we are.
Yeah, that actually fits Jafar well.
Oh my god. Bless Sonic Forces, best game.
Especially like when he started out and they show his origin story, he very much was an optimistic. He was very starry-eyed.
Yeah.
And then the thing is, even when the job would like beating him down and like the pressures of everything, like even when he became an actual the royal vizier instead of an assistant, he's still like very like, he still seemed very like bright-eyed and it's like trying to be like friendly with people that were actively hostile against him and literally saying "fuck you" to him. I definitely agree that it felt like a fanfic self-insert character. Like, look at how perfect I am.
I was gonna say don't go that far, but then I started thinking about it and it's like, oh no.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah. The only reason I wouldn't say I would say that it wouldn't go that far is because he actually is like competently written.
Yes.
Especially in the second
like
act.
the logic is there, and that's scary.
In the second act, when he has the confrontation with the genie lamp, and there's of course the song "Twisted."
We'll get to that.
Like that was feeling pretty solid. That was feeling more like we talk about this in Pixar's perspective. The Woody, no, don't do this. Of the a corruption that makes sense for the character. I think what could have helped is if Jafar was more not pessimistic, but maybe it's like he was so much of a skeptic because he talks a lot about sciences and logic, and he was so much of a skeptic that it was getting in the way of people like liking him and listening to him. At least that's one way you could do it. Like have a flaw rooted from the best characteristic. If you have a character that's loving, then maybe what you want to do is make them a little too attached, and then you have a flaw there. Something like that. Just give us something.
I'll give them this. They with his big trait being that he's loving, it does make for a good foil to the antagonist. Should we talk about Aladdin?
Yeah. We kind of briefed over the princess. Do we want to?
We can talk about her. We can talk about it. I feel like
honestly, you could combine the two.
Well, no, I wouldn't combine the two. Not absolutely not. But like the trio, the trio of the play, like the most important characters are Aladdin, Jafar, and Princess, as it were.
Yes.
And I figure, just because not to say Princess obviously has a big relation to Jafar, but just in terms of like, talking about Jafar inherently related to Jafar, it's a little more interesting to talk about Aladdin. And then after Aladdin, it's inherently more interesting to talk about Jasmine. Princess.
Yep.
Let's talk about Aladdin. Holy shit.
Right.
Jeff Blim.
Jeff Blim, that's his name?
That's the
Jeff
actor,
Blim.
yes. The guy who played Sweet Tooth
That was the first thing I was gonna point out. Knockout performance. I love the performance.
Yes. Oh my god.
This guy, it makes so much sense that they wrote a they gave him a spider song in senior year just so he could be a Disney villain for like 2 seconds, because he was born for it.
Yeah.
Yes.
He had
Yes.
I don't know if he plays any other villains in the future, because I don't remember, but like he played a villain in Holy Musical Batman, and he plays a villain in this, and my god.
Yeah.
He's enjoying every minute of it, and he's such a scumbag. Like
He's such a scumbag.
oh my god. But it's not like an accidental scumbag, like how you guys were like didn't like Harry or Ron for being mean. Like this one is intentional, and you know it's intentional.
Like I will go as far as to say this. When Aladdin was saying that, he's like, "Yeah, you're 16, I'm 33." If I feel like if this were to happen in like Potter musical or Me and My Dick or something, that wouldn't be played for a laugh, and it would just, or like something, and it would be disgusting. But here it's just like, oh my god, this guy's like that disgusting. And
Yes.
I will actually just say it. It worked. It worked.
It worked. It really does work.
Like it's crazy. It's crazy. I forgot that you can actually make this work. You just have to properly show that it's like, yes, this is not a good person.
No.
Don't make us sympathize with him. He's not a good person.
He's manipulative. He's cocky. He's crazy.
A
liar. He's just takes advantage of everyone he comes across.
I don't know how you guys felt about, as Wash described, him becoming Jim Carrey. Because at first I'm thinking like, okay, this is a little silly. I like it. But then he starts talking about how he killed his parents because they got in his way, and it's like,
Yeah.
I think Jim Carrey works for this.
It does. I remember that whole scene, and I was like, oh, fuck. And even when I was rewatching it, I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, things got intense.
It very much felt like, and especially with how they shot this, it very much felt like the monologue for AJ Holmes in senior year, where they just kept holding on him, talking about shrinking into a mouse, and in here they just keep switching back and forth between cameras, and it's just him. They never you don't see any of the reactions until immediately after, when Jafar's like, okay, what the fuck?
No, they do that just to like. I love how they do that, because they do it like to illustrate each of Aladdin's personalities in that scene.
Absolutely. I'm guessing that they were what's his name again? Jeff Blinn had just seen Me, Myself, and Irene, because it is so Jim Carrey. Like the especially with how he like his cadence with like, yep. Just way extra.
Oh yeah, he has to be inspired by Jim Carrey. There's no doubt in my mind that he is.
It definitely helped in like reframing some of the weirdness of it. Like when the second act was going on, and like Aladdin was getting more and more sexual assaulty.
Yeah,
I was kind of losing it, and then that thing just took it to a whole nother level. It just became like a super villain.
He went from the fuckboy who basically just wants to bang a girl to the psychotic predator. When I first saw this, I was like, oh, they're making Aladdin a fuckboy and a thief and just a bad person. But the more like you listen to him talk to the princess, you're like, oh shit, this guy is crazy, and I'm worried for her life.
Yeah, honestly.
And that's fantastic. That's so great.
Yeah. One of my favorite bits, and I'm just a sucker for interacting with the audience. When he talks to the audience. You said Darren Criss wasn't in StarKid anymore.
Yeah,
you lied.
I mean, technically, he wasn't in the production.
Yes. He specifically talks, and the subtitles label him as Darren Criss.
I don't think so.
What was the line? Because all I remember was like everybody else in the audience saying yes, yes.
No. Jeff Blim does his line with the audience being like, "Hey, this is how you got to do things subliminally," and he just does it subliminally, like, "Take off your clothes." Yeah. And I'm like, and everyone laughs. And then Jasmine talks to the audience and being like, "Oh no, you guys, do you think Jafar may have been right about Aladdin?" And everyone's like, "Yes."
And then Darren Criss is like, "Probably not."
And then Darren's just like, "I don't think so." And then everybody laughs, and she just goes, "Me neither."
Yeah, she plays along.
Oh, it was so funny. I forgot about that.
Shout outs to Darren Criss for showing up.
Yeah.
No, that was nice because he was still like well into. I think by this point he gone from like a guest star to like an actual star of Glee. Yeah. So good on him for coming over to Chicago and
at least
supporting the game.
It may have been just for that one performance, but hey, still something.
No, that's fine.
Speaking of, is there anything else we want to say about Aladdin other than, or do we want to move on to the princess?
Trying to think.
There were points where like Jeff Blim's a great singer, by the way. I'm just gonna say that. Fantastic.
Yeah, he's very good.
Great performance. But there were points where even I got a little bit uncomfortable with him. Like,
by all means, I think you gotta be insane or to
not be uncomfortable.
The difference is that, and I'm gonna keep bringing this up because I'm still mad about it. This isn't like Harry Potter sequel where there's really the uncomfortable things are like, oh, these are jokes, haha, hitting on children. That's funny, right? Here, like, the intent is that it's like, this guy's uncomfortable, he's a sleaze, you don't like him. That's why I think it works much better. Like, did it go too far sometimes? Probably, but am I going to be like, this is bad and I don't like it? I don't think so. I think it worked. I think it worked.
I think, if anything, it just shows how they wanted to represent Aladdin, which I think works. It does well, because,
Yeah. And if you're like, no, Aladdin's nice, then it's like, all right, go watch Disney's Aladdin. This is something else.
Yeah. Wash.
That's not what I meant, but okay. That's not what I meant, but okay.
I'm kidding. I just find it funny, because of all the people, I thought I was going to be the one to defend Disney's Aladdin out of the three of us.
All right,
anyway.
Princess time?
Princess time!
She became a different character by the second act. Especially like after the because at first, like we were saying, that she was a naive teenager, she was like privileged woke, the princess.
Yes.
What was it? It's like like I just feel trapped. Slaves. And the slaves feed her grave.
Did you know people get this stuff from sweatshops? Yes. Where'd you get this? From your sweatshop, my lady.
I made this in the sweatshop.
Yeah. The private sweatshop you own, my lady. You work at the sweatshop? That is supporting the system. Bad. You are part of the problem.
You are part of the problem.
Oh.
Like, okay, I understand what they're
I understand what they're going for. The whole Everything and More song was not only a parody on Disney princess songs, which
it
but
definitely felt like part of that world, the Everything and More.
Yeah, it was like it's literally that cliche princess I want more song. It's that's StarKid's take on it.
It felt more like a Disney song than like potentially any of the songs in Starship.
Yes, it did.
There's one other song that is straight up a Disney song that they very slightly changed. What was the name of it?
Is it the Golden Rule?
No, Take Off Your Clothes.
Oh,
that was like it is very easy to you can easily just like find a website with the lyrics for Take Off Your Clothes and make it part of that world. Because that's exactly what it is. No, not part of that world.
A Whole New World?
A Whole New World, thank you. Yeah. Take off your clothes. Yeah.
That's what it was trying to do parody. I don't think it's the exact same.
I think it's like they changed it very slightly so they could get away with it. But it is very, very similar melodically.
So I think what I know we always call her Jasmine. Technically, that's not it. I think what I liked about her, I mean, obviously, you know, like by this point, when was this released? 2014?
This was released. Production was in 2013.
Okay, and then the play did so it was like it released quote unquote in 2013.
The publication was that November.
All right, so 2013. Okay, yeah, we're not very far off of like kid shows being like, you know, woke quote unquote. So I wasn't too crazy about it, but the twist, wink, that I kind of liked that this version did was that when Jasmine did become the ruler, she was using all of those, you know, weird ideas that she had, but they were just more refined.
Yeah.
So I like that it's like, you know, okay, you know, we can poke fun at this, and obviously, you know, it's pretty stupid. But like Jafar literally says, you know, it's these ideas of yours that are going to make change. When you're that age, you actually want to make that change. When you get older, you're just tired. So when she becomes the ruler, and it's literally all of these crazy ideas, but instead of, oh, everybody can be princesses so that nobody has to work or whatever, it's everybody should be treated equally. Basically, everybody's a princess. And it's like, two reasons I love that. One, well, what I just said. And two, it gave them an excuse to refer to Jim Pavola with feminine. And I was so happy. Because to everybody else, it's just like, oh, haha, funny joke. But to Jim Pavolo, that means so much. And I'm...
Yes.
Darn tootin'.
We gotta talk about Jim Pavolo at some point, because that performance.
No, we're gonna... I want to talk about Aquaman, but he can wait. Joe Walker can wait a bit. Jim.
This is all your fault, Random.
I was gonna say it, damn it.
I love Jim in this so much. He literally he's literally just the guard, and his catchphrase is, "This is all your fault, Jafar." But like,
I remember at first, it's so, like some very small part of me is like, all right, that's a little mean. But the more he says it, the funnier it gets. This is all your fault, Jafar. If only you threw better parades.
Maybe if you threw a parade once in a while.
Yeah.
And then even when like Jafar saved the day, and he said the exact same line, but in a positive way.
This is all Jafar's fault.
But the line that I really liked, again, as a reference to Aladdin, was the captain was basically telling the whole story to Jafar of the chase in Aladdin, where a sword swallower gets his throat slit, and several men choke and die on manure. And he just said, all this for a loaf of bread.
My favorite, another line I liked is like, we tried to catch him, but he's always just one jump ahead.
I think my favorite, I mean, a big part of it is Jim Pavolo's delivery, but there's this guard, Abdul, and
Abdul,
and he dies, and at some point, I don't even fully remember the context. It's just like, you know, the guards deserve to die or something. And Jim Pavolo says, tell that to Bobdul, Abdul's twin brother. And the same actor is right there, and he's like crying.
Oh God. Can I just say, I mean this ties in with the ensemble, but like the ensemble is so good in this.
Yeah.
I want to mention one more thing about Jim Pavolo before we go to that. And there's one point during the scene transitions where Jim Pavolo exits the stage like doing this weird running man walk, and for no reason whatsoever he just does it, and that just made me laugh hard.
This is like the only, well, there's two bits of research that I've done for this. One was on Starship, and the other one wasn't specifically Twisted. I don't remember which of the writers that it was, but they said that it's like when we're writing and we're like, we need an ace in a hole for this, they write in Jim Pavolo. And it's like, I absolutely, especially here, I totally see that.
It was so nice. This is the first one of these we've watched. I think this originally came out in parts, right?
Yeah.
They had it both, at least. And they still have it in both.
Yeah, they still have it in both. But this is the first one of these that I watched, like, in one solid video. and it was so nice to watch scene transitions again.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was so nice to see how they play around with the with actors having to walk in and out of stage and set up the set up props and stuff. Wasn't there like one part where like Aladdin and the princess they exit the scene by just like flapping their wings or something like that?
Yeah. Because they're flying on the magic carpet, so to get the point across that they're flying, they just like wave their arms.
It's so good. Oh god, the scene transitions were great. I don't know if it was the director, but this was actually Brian Holden's first time directing.
It was.
Interesting.
I was surprised to find out.
And it was very interesting to like hear that, because a lot of people, casual fans who might not know he directed, are like, "Where's Lupin? Where's Junior? Where's
Well, we got Junior. He's Aladdin.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it's the same character. Like, and when it comes to psychoticness of character, although Aladdin isn't buying weed, for as far as I know.
I mean, that's the
talks
big
about it
difference,
though.
like, that's the big difference.
Yeah,
Junior. I'm just gonna say it because of that. Junior's better. I'll say it.
If only Aladdin smoked some pot, then
I mean, he does talk about smoking a blunt.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Yeah. But it's like,
Oh,
his parents
that's
are dead. He can do whatever he wants. Junior's dad, he's going to have a stern talk with him later about that weed. Okay, no. We're done talking about Starship. We're done.
No, we're not. We're not.
I know, but we're done.
Before I move on to the ensemble, because I actually really want to talk about the ensemble, we still have 2 more characters to talk about. Well, 3, actually.
No, who are they? I know one of them. Who are the other 2?
Ahmed.
Yeah.
And I'm doing it by actor. Ahmed, Sherazard, and the Sultan / the Jinn. Which...
Oh, yes, that's right.
I think we'll start with Ahmed.
Yeah.
So, good old Joe Walker doing his Joe Walker voice.
Has, other than like repeat performances, has he ever put on the same voice?
Isn't this kind of his Voldemort voice?
Not
like kind of.
The accent is too thick. Like, I don't know if you know this, but putting on accents is not easy. Like, it's hard.
It's not.
Oh yeah.
And he does put on a bit of an accent, so it's slightly different.
He puts on a super thick accent for this.
Oh yeah,
Are you kidding?
Do not feed me a shit and call it couscous, Jafar.
Yes. Cool.
It was just so funny, and I love how, again, what they did with Voldemort and Quirrell. They turned Ahmed, a character who was literally a throwaway joke, and they make him essential to the plot and the main conflict of it.
In a way, yeah.
In a way, he sends.
Like
he
without
goes
him,
to war
without
with the
him,
Magic
yeah,
Kingdom.
without the war, what plot do we have?
Exactly.
And of course they can't do a Disney parody without doing a parody of the Disney business practices. So of course they're gonna go into the what was it, 2004, 2005, 2006, when Pixar almost left Disney.
They did.
Imagine that timeline. all those extremely thick metaphors for the animation and their stories.
Oh yes, the trade routes of toys, cars,
Yep.
toys, exotic fish. What was it?
And garbage crushing robots or something like
Garbage
that.
crushing robots and all other such incredibles.
Everything incredible.
Specifically incredible. I liked that.
It was nice. All the Pixar references were nice, and again, Joe Walker does a great job playing as Ahmed. And even to all the way to his last line, because my favorite thing is like everyone has a happy ending, and then it cuts to the end. You just hear Ahmed go, "Wait, what happened to Jafar?"
Yeah. I mean, he's the one who doesn't know. He's like, oh.
He doesn't.
It's so random too. It's like I remember thinking this, but you bringing it up, it just take me back to that. It's like he's literally like almost off stage when he says this. Like he forgot to say his line earlier, and he's like, "Oh shoot."
Very funny to, and this is I guess this is also another boon to the budget and stuff. It was really fun to see them use the stage and the audience and being able to switch back and forth and make like the when he goes back to his kingdom to Pixar and shows his ass to his guards and tries to explain what's happening, and they all think that he fucked a tiger. Tiger fucker.
Oh,
Again,
God.
this is another one of those things. I feel like, if it was early StarKid, I'd be sitting here talking about how stupid it is, borderline uncomfortable. They know how to make it work. They know.
They do.
I laughed a lot.
They figured it out.
I was worried.
They work it into the song, and it's catchy. Forget good. It's catchy.
Oh God, it works so well for no one remembers Ahmed, and you just hear Robert Manning just go, "He fucked a tiger." I did not fuck a tiger. Oh, it's so great.
Mad. He gets so mad.
I love it. It's so fun to see Joe Walker angry.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's the kind of angry of like what's his name? The cowboy from Yosemite Sam. Like, I'm gonna whap it. Like that same sort of anger.
oh, it's great.
I love when he shows the people of his kingdom what he shows them his ripped pants, the underwear stuff, and the people I guess they just don't want to insult him, so they're like, very well-defined bottoms, sir.
What was that one? There was that one guy that was like extremely supportive.
Yeah.
Robert, that was Robert again.
yeah.
Well, no matter what happens, you'll always be a prince to me.
Oh, thank you.
I want to talk about the ensemble, but I'll do it for last because they're one of my favorite things about it. And we still got two more characters. Is there anything else you want to talk about with Ahmed?
So I guess I'll say this just because I've been I like to play. I'm not going to be like, oh, I hated it. But I think we're done talking about the aspects of the play that I was super into. The rest were I range from good to whatever. For me, at least. For me.
Okay. So you want us into Joe Walker as the former Vizar?
Oh yeah, that was just him being Joe Walker.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things where it's the writing for the character very generic, but the actor brings it to life.
Yeah, pretty much.
I could sing that. If you want to hear me sing the praises of Joe Walker, go back 5 seconds or watch any other StarKid Spotlight that we've done.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay.
Sherazade.
She was okay.
Yeah, she was okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not on Meredith's fault. I think she sang well.
Absolutely
she does
not.
it well.
I
just think the character wasn't written that well.
This is kind of one of the things that I want to talk about with StarKid because they've gotten so much better. But the one regard, I feel like we're talking about Edgar Wright again. The one regard where I really kind of wish that they would try to step it up a little bit is with their women. I feel like most of their women aren't very these are the stories are about the men almost. And seeing it feels like racist to say this, but I can't remember her name. But just seeing her in this specific, in this kind of role, just with everything else, it's just kind of how far away are we from the StarKid show that's actually about a woman? And there's one that's prominent and big that's not just poor Lauren Lopez not being able to sing
the only example we've had of that is Lauren Lopez.
Yeah, and she's always playing a man. And it's what, if she wants to play a man or if that's a joke, I'm all for it. She does a great job playing men, but it's can we just get more women, please?
Give us more Taz. Give us more
give us more Lauren Lopez. Yeah.
I'm just gonna say, wait till a future production. That's all I will say.
All right.
I won't say which one, but you'll know what it is when you see it.
My guess is gonna be Annie, just because it's called Annie, but we shall see. We shall see.
I'll tell you right now, no.
Okay.
Sherazade, she sings well. She does the best she can. I just don't think the role is written. I mean, it's not written badly or in bad taste. It's just not really It's okay. Okay.
The more that I think about it, the more that it is just kind of like, oh, she fills in the role that it's like, oh, the woman fills this role. Like, when I think about her, I just kind of find myself being like, oh, I'm so happy for Jafar. And it's like, oh, I'm just thinking about the man, not the woman.
Exactly. Like so much of her is in relation to other characters. Like
character, singular.
Yeah. Other character. Jafar.
And like the Jafar, yes. But also like she gets she dies and or she specifically gets taken away from Jafar because the Sultan sees her and says, "You're my wife now." And then I forget how they said that she died, like
child.
But
well, she doesn't say how. Twisted doesn't say how she died right away. She waits till the end, and she's like, she died from childbirth. And then and she's like, and then the girl, and then Jafar figures out that like the twist that Jafar is Princess's father.
By the way, I have proof in my notes that I called that before the second act.
Yeah, I called it too. I called it pregnant first too. I was like, wait a minute. They mentioned she was pregnant. What Oh.
Yeah. like Jafar hasn't been creepy to the princess yet. Oh, that's why.
That's a horrible reason, because like you could just be a better person. But even in the Disney original, he creeped on her.
I think one of my favorite lines, just out of pure hypocrisy, is when Jafar tells Princess that he loves her, and then Aladdin goes, "Dude, you're like twice her age. Don't be a pedo."
There's one more person who we haven't met, who's technically new to StarKid, but also not, because while he was never acted in StarKid before, he was the composer for Holy Musical Batman, and that is Nick Gage.
The mustached one.
Yes.
Yeah, he played a few mustached characters, I've noticed.
He's mostly
oh, you know
listed.
what? I did forget about one other thing that I really liked, and it was someone he did.
Was it the Sultan or was it the other character?
Well, I mean, there's technically
three.
There's technically like 3 or 4, but I know which one you're talking about. So yes, it was the Jinn.
Okay, I thought so.
I don't know how I forgot about that, but I did.
I love the Sultan. They have fun with, because in the movie he's played by like this high-pitched short man, and then you see Nick Gage literally dressed up as the Sultan and having that same high voice from the moment he speaks.
Yeah, but then it's like, oh, he's actually a terrible person. Oops.
Yeah, he's awful. He's awful.
It's an awful person. Yeah.
He literally, his first introduction is him talking about his penis.
And then and then right after that, just takes Jafar's wife away.
Yeah. And then he's just like, he's not quite like you love to hate him as much as Aladdin, but like, I think you just hate him. Like,
oh yeah, no. Again, like, not a flaw with the play. You know, it was the intent.
No,
I hated him.
I hated him too. Like, there's at one point where like Aladdin just like tries to fool everyone thinking Jafar's a sorcerer, and he's like, I can't believe I had a sorcerer this whole entire time. I'm like, you motherfucker.
Yeah, it's like,
I mean, that is the Sultan in the original. Like, there's even a joke that's like, I'm a very good judge of character.
Yeah, they make that.
Yes.
That is the Sultan.
Yeah, it is. It is.
They just kind of took that to its logical conclusion of, wait, this city that he's run is really is not in very good shape, and that would be his fault.
Yeah, it is his fault. I remember like when I watched the Broadway version of Aladdin, they rewrote the Sultan entirely for that and made him a lot more competent. They made him a deep voice. They made him like stern and strict.
Okay.
So it's very interesting to see this stage interpretation that is more accurate with the movie. And to be fair, Nick Gage does have a lot of great roles, like the mustachioed one who's supposed
the Jinn. Can we just talk about the Jinn, please?
Let's talk about the Jinn.
Okay, he's hilarious.
One scene wonder. If he was in like one more scene, I would hate him. But they use him just the right amount of time.
They do.
Exactly. The one scene wonder is the perfect way of describing him, because the whole thing, it's not really like it's not that they're doing Robin Williams. They're doing what people remember what Robin Williams
Yes,
doing.
yes.
Which
was
way
quoting
too many
other movies. Literally.
It's like way too many quotes.
At some point, Jafar is like, "Are you referencing something that I'm not getting?" And it's like, "Yes, actually, yes."
And it's so funny just to see Jafar get more and more infuriated by the GM.
Yeah, it's like so much has happened to him by this point. He's just fed up.
Yeah, he's just like, you need to back me the fuck up or shut the fuck up.
Someone need a hug. Come on, come here, Scott. Come here, give me a hug.
Like, and I love how the writers just literally like, what are some famous movie quotes? And just went through a list and made them work.
They literally just went through a list of movie quotes.
And you know they did a good job because I don't watch a lot of movies. I recognized all of the quotes, but almost none of the movies. Yes. So, like, the scene ended, and I honestly just like applauded. Like, I didn't know what else to do. It's like they did such a good job.
They really did. Oh, it's so good. And just for like, and again, like you said, if they had him like as a major character, you would have been sick of him.
Like, again, like 2 more seconds of him being on stage, and it'd be like, why are they bringing him back? Come on,
he's done.
But no, he's perfect. He's perfect the way he is.
Again, like they got a Kickstarter budget. They have a lot more money to work with. And his costume is the worst.
Oh my god!
His costume
so
is like worse
funny.
than the
It's
ones
so
we've seen.
bad.
Like,
It looks like a onesie.
it's worse than the costumes we saw in Potter musical when it was a college production. Like literally, it's a Halloween costume, and they don't paint his face.
They don't paint his face.
It's just him with this really like an unkempt mustache, and like every time he says a quote, he like grins right to the audience, like he's the toddler who realized that he can, if he says a dirty word, then all the parents will laugh. Like
It's so true. Oh, you know what, Nick Gage? I think you redeemed yourself with Holy Musical Batman. Although, honestly, it wasn't too bad. But I don't know if you'll be able to redeem yourself with Rancid, but you did a good job. You did a very good job. And that just leads the ensemble and the songs, which I think we could kind of mix together, because the ensemble, I really like the ensemble for this one, because like a lot of people get to shine. Some more than others. Like, let me see. Alex Paul, is the one from the opening, and that's all I really saw her in, other than like as a servant.
and Captain Hook.
Oh yeah, oh no, I thought Captain Hook was oh, I thought that was Meredith.
No, that was I mean, according to the wiki.
Okay,
that was Captain Hook. Yeah,
that makes sense, honestly.
Yeah, no, it was Captain Hook.
Okay, all right, but we'll get to that song.
You guys are gonna have to take over the ensemble for me, because I thought they were fine.
Yeah, they were fine. I just want to give them credit where credit's due.
No, I mean, yeah,
and
I want to really hyping up. You're like, oh, I love the ensemble. I'll save them for last, and it's like,
well, Denise Donovan, she played the bird and like a few other things in Cruella, which was funny. But the real people, members of the ensemble that I think shine: Jamie Lynn Betty for one specific role, and Robert Mannion for every single role he played, because
who is he?
He was the guy who was the oversensitive "You'll Always Be a Prince to Me." He played Gaston in the Disney song. He was Abdul and Abul.
Yeah, he was the one that choked on manure and then cried about his twin brother choking on manure.
His twin brother.
He was the one who, when Aladdin robbed the bread shop and threatened him to not have raisins, that was him.
Oh yeah,
he was honestly my favorite member of the ensemble. Because
is my understanding that he won a contest?
Yeah, he's the one who won a contest, and then he like with a songwriting contest, and then I got him to meet StarKid, and they liked him so much they put him in one of the productions.
Yeah,
and now he's been in every single one since.
Oh,
good.
And he's pretty damn funny and talented. And yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. I liked the ensemble members. They had a lot of fun. Oh, Lauren! Fuck! Oh my god, Lauren.
I feel like this is one of Lauren's weaker performances. I generally thought there was going to be more with the monkey.
Yeah,
but there's almost nothing.
I mean, there's like a couple scenes and that's it.
Yeah, it doesn't play any real role, the monkey.
Yeah, it's creepy. That's about it.
It's kind of creepy, and he's just like, it looks like Lauren Lopez is like having a good time with the puppet, but like it just didn't seem like there was much more to it. It was just
there was some times where even Lauren Lopez got to shed the spotlight to somebody else.
I suppose so.
But don't worry, she gets her chance to shine again.
I will grant her that she had one of the early big laughs was someone there's
Dream a Little Harder is what you're talking about.
Dream a little harder, and Lauren Lopez is like, why is everybody in this town white? And everybody's like,
yeah, they're like,
yeah, we
I'm
are
Danish. I'm pretty sure I'm Danish.
I'm mostly Welsh.
Welsh. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I want to say. Is just like the ensemble I liked a lot, and they should be recognized for their greatness. Especially Robert. Let's go. How much time do we have left?
5 minutes, 57 seconds.
All right, let's talk about the songs. Speed round. Okay, Dream a Little Harder. Really great opening number. Really funny. I love all Disney references. Literally, there's one that like that is literally
the bell. I have a feeling that like when you first watched this, you screamed at Belle.
I did. I was laughing so goddamn hard. There's another.
Maybe take your face out of the book. Maybe take your face out of the book next time, bitch, or something like that.
Get your motherfucking face out of that motherfucking book.
Out of the
no, fat face out of that motherfucking book. There we go.
Yeah.
But it's a great, fun love letter to Disney songs. I Steal Everything. The fun facade song for Aladdin, where he's like, but also shows his like creepiness deep down of like how bad of a person he is.
Yeah.
My favorite part of that song is Jim Bavolo's solo in it. That's about it. I really liked it though. It was a good song. Everything and More. Oh wait, if you guys want to chime in, I'm just gonna speed run.
No, keep going.
I got nothing.
Everything and More. The story of the Song of the Princess. For some reason, I never liked songs that even Jasmine never had a song in the movie. In the Broadway show, Jasmine's song had a song that I didn't really like. And this one's okay. It gets the point across, but it was, compared to the other songs, it seemed forgettable to me.
Yeah, it was just them doing a riff on part of that world and similar sort of song.
Yeah, it was alright. One of my favorite songs, Sands of Time / The Golden Rule / The Golden Rule Reprise. I love this tune. Oh, I love it. It's such a happy song, and then I love how it gets twisted in the reprise. The way that they literally twisted the phrase that they follow the gold and rule. It was like I could tell that they had that in their notes. It's like, we got to put that in there somewhere. Because it's literally a quote from the movie. Whoever has the gold makes the rules.
Whoever has the gold makes the rule. But like just the line "gold and rule," they were like, yes, this is it.
Yeah,
this was probably my favorite song in the production. I wasn't crazy about most of the songs. I mean, I liked them, but like this is like my gut's telling me I like this one the most.
Mm-hmm.
I like another song a bit better, but we'll talk about that.
I know which one it is.
1001 Nights was okay. It was nice and sweet. I love the joke where they just met and then he immediately asked to marry in typical Disney fashion. Took you long enough. That was a funny laugh Meredith got with me.
If I Believe. By the way, what like when it was going through Act 1, I was like, it feels like there's so many songs in this musical.
Yes.
Even though, like, if you count it, it's the same amount that they usually are.
Yeah.
But it feels way denser in musical.
That's because they wanted to give Dylan Saunders more singing.
Yeah,
which they should.
More to work with, like in If I Believe, which I don't remember anything about.
I just remember being like, "Oh, Dylan, you sweet voice, you keep singing."
Sure, of course.
That's all I have to say. Orphaned at 30.
Orphan at 33. The whole joke is that he was an orphan at the age of 33.
The age of 33.
That's about it. That's all I have to say. It's funny. It's Jeff Blim sings well and it's funny.
Yeah. Happy ending.
Such a good ending to the Act One. I love it.
Yeah. Like it would, especially with Jafar's part, it was sounding like a hopeful thing where it's like he finally gets what he wants. And then at the very end of of Act 1, Aladdin is like psych, and he does no, and then the curtains close.
Yep.
Act 1.
Beautiful ending to Act 1. No one remembers Ahmed.
Maybe my favorite one. This one is just really damn funny, and just getting to see the whole ensemble continually hinting at him being a tiger fucker.
If this one is my favorite song, it's because of Joe Walker.
Yeah,
it's because of Joe Walker. Yeah. Sheep's Clothing. I also forgot. Oh yeah, that's like a 10-second song. That was like.
Oh yeah, Sheep's Clothing. A song is a dick in sheep's clothing. I didn't. That's not even listed on the wiki.
Yeah.
Take off your clothes.
Yeah.
It gets the point across. Aladdin is creepy as fuck.
It's creepy as fuck.
I will say, I think this is the first time that even though StarKid is so big on parody, I think this is the first time that they actually just sung a song and the song was a parody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And Twisted. Is this the song you guys were talking?
I watched this song and I'm like, is this Random's favorite musical up to this point because it has Disney villains in it? Is it really so shallow? I'm like running through my head. And it's like, I trust you enough to say no, but it's like in the back of my mind, I just have that lingering thought that it's like, oh, Jafar, Ursula, and Gaston are on stage together. This is why it's Random's favorite.
I mean, it wasn't the reason, but maybe subconsciously. But I love this song so.
Oh, it's a good song. It's a good song.
It's a very good song,
and I love how
be like very close to the top.
I love how they take all these Disney villains and twistify them as much as they can. So one, you're not getting a sequel, and two, it's just really cool to get their perspective and see like how they were wronged by like the other characters and how like, oh, Jafar isn't the only one who went through this. Ursula went through this. Jamie Lynn Betty, we didn't talk about her that much, but my God, her voice is so good and it really shines as Ursula. She does such a good Ursula. I want to see her as Ursula.
and then Cruella the Vil comes in and is like, I just want to make a coat out of dogs. And I was like, get the fuck out of here.
What the fuck? Why would you do that? It's so good. It's just, everyone's so perfectly casted.
All right. Really quick, I'll let you finish the songs, but before that, you know what else has to get out of here?
The timer.
The timer. Finish the songs, then we'll do closing thoughts.
All right. I'll just say Twisted was magnificent and everyone was played perfectly. The Power in Me, nice duet between Jafar and Princess. Like, it's nice. I really love how they use the line, "You're a diamond in the rough." That hit the heart, that hit the feels a bit.
Yeah.
And the finale was nice too, but it was just like, oh, the musical's ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's Twisted. Final thoughts. Which one of you wants to go first?
Okay. I like Twisted. I came in expecting it to be as good or better than Starship. It's not really. But on its own, it is a very good. It's a very good parody. It's got some real strong performances. I would definitely recommend this as a Aladdin Twisted double feature. Like watching one and then the next. It feels really satisfying to like catch all of those references and quotes. And I did want to mention because I completely forgot about the ending until we talked about The Power in Me. I like the original ending of Aladdin where Aladdin fools Jafar into trapping himself, but in this case, like Jafar trapping himself to save everybody else from Aladdin's powers. That was that was really impressive. That felt like a really impressive bit of putting a twist on the original story. And it was also like a really it was like a really powerful scene, honestly. Like, damn, that there's like a moment of self-sacrifice, and it worked out for him. Beyond that, we've said before this, like, Jafar is like too perfect, but it does pick up again in the second act. And yeah, it was I could definitely see where all the money went. It went into some fantastic staging and props, and the horrible Jin costume.
Did any of the money go into that costume?
I hope not, because that would make it worth it.
What if like Nick Cage just bought that himself?
And he's like, "I wouldn't be surprised."
like he's over a relative's house. He's lying around and is like, "Can I borrow that for production?"
Hey, we should put like blue makeup on it. No, it's fine. It's fine.
it's fine. we can't fit that in our budget.
We have 142,000 and we already spent on all of it. We don't have to. Okay. Who's next?
Kirby.
That would be me. I liked it. I mean, I wasn't going into it expecting it to be like. I don't really go into anything with expectations. I just kind of go in regularly, just so that I feel it's more fair that way. Is it better? I'll get this out of the way right now. Is this better in Starship? Not in a million years. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Starship was something else. But I did like this one a lot. I did have some problems with it. I didn't really find like I mean, standalone, there was a lot to like about it compared to other things. There was a lot to like about it, but not much really stood out to me outside of I don't even want to say like the kindness of the main character. That's more so just a StarKid thing, because the main characters are normally pretty mean, except Starship, and Starship did it better. But at the same time, it's like, you know, Jafar's fine. I got a lot of good laughs from Jim Pavolo. I got a good laughs from Joe Walker. But that was mostly it. I wasn't finding myself laughing so much. I mean, again, Joe Walker and Jim Pavolo literally carried, like, you know, it was enough. But, you know, I wasn't laughing all that much, and that's kind of important to me, especially, I mean, standalone, it's important, but it's super important when it's like some of the gut laughs that I was having from Starship. Yeah. Production-wise, very good. I'm not even going to compare it to Starship on this one, there's no point. But production-wise, really good. Very impressed by the lighting. I like what there's a lot of cool reds.
Yeah.
I forgot about the Jin again. I said, you know, to those two only the only ones that made me laugh, but the Jin did too. Like, honestly, I think that's kind of the one thing that I would give Twisted over Starship, is that, like, Starship has a lot of really good scenes, but I can't really pick out one that, like, stands out. It's kind of one of my problems with the play to begin with, that not too, like, as much as I love it, it's like, it's very, like, standard, almost too safe. But here, it's just, like, that scene with the Jin, easy. Like, you know, I love Jim Pavolo, I love Jim Walker, I love everything they do, but that scene with the Jin, hands down, has got to be like one of the best scenes in theater I've ever seen. Like, everything about it, top to bottom, it just works. So overall, like, I know I've been kind of speaking a little down on it, but that's just because I talked really highly about it throughout. We spent most of the time talking about the aspects that I really liked. When we got to the stuff that I'm a little, you know, not as hyped about, you know, we had talked so much about everything else. There's only like 10-15 minutes left. But I did like it a lot. Not that letter grades mean anything, as we've discussed many times. But if I had to give it something, I'm coming into this, I was leaning towards B-, but I think I will give it a bit of the generosity that Jafar asks for, and I'll give it a B. I'll give it a solid B.
I'll give it a B as well. Like somewhere between a B and a B plus.
I gave it a B-, and then the Jin made a movie quote, so I gave it a B.
It's one of those things that, like, especially it's one of those things that only works because you have an audience right there.
Yes, absolutely.
And he's drinking it up.
Yep. It's great.
All right, so that's my 2 cents. let's very curious about this. Let's move to Random Bystander here.
I really like this, of course. I liked it back then. I like it a lot now. It's a great show. Dylan Saunders is magnificent. I liked how they rewrote the characters. I like how they made Jafar more likable. I like how they made Aladdin a creep. I love Joe Walker. I love Jim Bavolo. I love Nick Gage as the Jinn, and the Sultan too. And the ensemble's great. Robert. I don't know if it beats Starship anymore, but I still really like it. For now, I'm gonna say it does not. Starship is
nice.
Starship wins as of now. I do feel before we do the finale, I gotta rewatch both of them again, back to back, and I will try to. But because as of right now, I really do like Twisted, not just because it's just a magnificent show, but it's just such a turning point for StarKid. Not, I wouldn't say like one of the turning points, I would say, because this is the one right after A Very Potter Senior Year. There's another musical that's a bit of a turning point that we'll get to in a couple shows, I would say, but it's more of a turning point for their content, not with this is more of a turning point for the production. If that makes any sense. So for right now, I really, really, really like Twisted, but it's my number 2. So Starship, as of now, Starship's up first, then Twisted, then I'm forgetting my ranking.
You have to write these down.
Very Potter sequel, Holy Musical Batman, A Very Potter musical.
Me and my dick.
I feel like I forgot one.
Senior Year. Did you say Senior Year?
Oh yeah, Senior Year's above A Very Potter sequel.
Oh, okay.
I will write that down because I already forgot. Oh my god, it's getting to the point where it's hard to keep track.
Yeah.
You don't have me doing it for you.
If this were CinemaSon, we'd be done.
Yeah, but we're not quite done. We're only halfway done, and we're still not done this episode because now we have to do the point where we recognize the Star Kids on the spotlight by talking about our favorite actors and why they shine. Which one of you are going to fight for Dylan Saunders?
Well, if we're talking about our favorite actors on the spotlight, I have to say it's a tie between Random and Wash.
Oh. Wait, I'm not a Star Kid.
Neither am I.
Random said the Star Kids on the spotlight.
Yeah, I meant on the stage.
It implies us.
Okay. I meant on the stage spotlight, but okay. So which one of you are you both going to fight for Dylan Saunders, or is it going to be interesting?
Well, I wasn't going to pick Dylan Saunders. I have one of 2 or 3 picks, depending on if I can remember the third.
I gotta check on this real quick
So who do you want to go first? Me or Wash?
Could you buy me some time?
Okay then.
Okay. I'll go. As much as if you've been watching StarKid Spotlight up to this point, you might be surprised. Random, refresh my memory. What's the name of Aladdin's actor?
Jeff Blim.
Jeff Blim. I'm going with him.
Yeah,
for his role as Aladdin. As weird as it sounds, again, I just every time I think about how much I love the performance, I think back to like Senior Year, where I read not on the actor, but I ragged on Lupin for everything that he said, and then I think about Aladdin, and it's like, oh my god, this works. I'm always like personally weirded out, but it's like, no, I know why this works. It's good. But yeah, definitely going with him just because he is scum.
Yeah.
He is horrible, and the actor totally makes it work. And boy, can he sing, boy, can he dance, boy, can he flex.
All right.
Okay. For me then, I'm gonna go. So, I was kind of going for like Joe Walker, but I feel like we vote on Joe Walker like way too much.
Okay, so actually, here's the thing: we did Joe Walker for Potter musical. Every single one after that, we're like, okay, well, we vote for Joe Walker too much. Let's not, and then we don't. Every time.
Well, we talk too much about Joe Walker.
He's always an honorable mention.
He's an honorable mention every time, except for the two that don't count.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to give him an honorable mention again. And this time, I'm just gonna say that like it felt like he was given a very similar performance that we've seen in previous times, especially with just like the flabbergasted villain. He did a fine job, but if we're going for like someone who just like oozes talent, Dylan Saunders.
Yep.
Bar none.
Okay.
That's fair.
But like bar none, just we caught him from the very beginning. That's like, wow, he's got something, and he got again. The character is whatever for me, but Dylan Saunders takes it to a much higher level just from how much passion he pushed into this. It's really impressive.
With the two main actors, Dylan and Jeff taken, I have a lot of good choices to pick from. Because a lot of people shined in this. Rachel Soglin shined a lot as Princess. Joe Walker shined a lot as Ahmed. Nick Gage was a fantastic Jin. Jamie Lynn Betty was a great Ursula. But if I gotta be honest,
I think I know who it's gonna be.
I think I know too.
It's tied between two people, but I'm gonna pick him. And you know why? It's all Jafar's fault. I gotta give it to Jim. I'm so happy. That's
not who I was expecting, but I'm so happy that's who you
Robert
picked.
was so close.
That's who I thought it was gonna be.
That's who I thought
Robert
too.
was so close, but I'm like, no, Jim made me laugh more.
Again, just shout outs to the writers for that princess line, because it's like,
absolutely.
I know it's just funny to the average person, but I can tell how much that meant to Joe.
It
was
was
Jim. So
let's go.
yes, they are great. Jim is great. But we have finished Twisted, and I'm excited for next week. We are going to be doing the Trailed Oregon, which is interesting because one, we will have Anna Yume back, which I'm very excited for.
Yahoo!
Two, even though it gives Matt Lang and Nick Lang writing credits, this is more of a personal project for Jeff Blim, who, like Edgar Wright with Baby Driver, worked on the script for almost 10 years.
Really?
I want to say almost 10 years.
Huh. So,
this is Jeff Blim's baby, based on the Oregon Trail video game series. And it's going to be interesting, since this was kind of the throwaway show that didn't get much budget, but wound up everyone loving. So
we'll talk more about that
next time. So, I'm excited. I'm very excited. But before we go, Wash, plug us out.
That's right. If you liked what you listened to, then you can check out our Twitter account at WRK Podcast, where we'll post when the next episodes come out. And also, if you can also listen to our other episodes on wrk.simplecast.com, where we did Pixar Perspective and CinemaSun, and we got a whole bunch, just hours and hours, days and days of talking and trying to figure out how do cars die.
Yes, and that's yes. And also check out our individual works as well, because all of us have our own videos and stuff like that you should check out.
Yeah.
But until next time, I'm Random Bystander here.
I'm feeling lucky, punk.
Wow, you literally stole my intro. Anyway, in the spirit of the gin as well, I shall also make a reference. This is still not the red line of StarKid Spotlight.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good
Bye-bye.
night.